Hello guys, welcome to TMX Adventures. Lisa here. Today we're going to make a nice big batch of mince with hidden veggies. Now I've been making this mince dish for a very long time, probably since the beginning of the TM5 days. I didn't know about the steaming ability, and I really wasn't confident with it in my TM31, but then I got the TM5, it was a bit bigger in the Varoma, and I learned that you can fill up this Varoma really well. So today I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually cook that. You'll notice my bowl's a bit dirty. I just made, well, it's actually not dirty, it's stained. I just made some new sweet tea for our kombucha up the top here, and the tannin in the tea has stained it for the moment. It will come off. I just rinsed it and I really don't care for the moment. I want to get dinner on. They're having burritos for dinner tonight, so we have mince out that's mostly defrosted and some veggies to hide. It is manually making, so if you have not manually used your Thermomix, take some hints and tips away from this today, okay? Manually making in your TM6, your TM5, and then TM31 you have to manually make. It's such a great skill to have, okay? There are times when you just want to make something that you know off the top of your head, and things like this recipe is what you need. They're usually just a couple of steps if I'm showing you, because I need simple in my life. By the way, if you're watching on, hit the subscribe button. Those of you on Facebook, say hi if you are there as well. Lovely to see you on. So first things first, in the bottom of this mince dish, we are going to put in an onion, and I've just cut it in half. So I've got 2 big hunks of onion. I've got about 2 cloves of garlic. Then we're going to add some veggies, okay? So I've got a carrot. I've just washed it, no peeling required, and I'm just roughly cutting this into chunks. I'll show you them in a second. And I'm even going to put the end in. It's edible, unless it's moldy, which it's not. It's just been cut off. It's fine, okay? By the way, with the size of your bits that go in here, you don't want them bigger than the gap between the side of the blade and the bowl. Otherwise, it won't chop. Okay, so in they go. Oh, I missed the last bit. It's a fair amount, by the way. These are generous size bits of veggies. So that was a carrot, and now I'm doing zucchini, decent sized again. Now, you don't have to put veggies in, but you do need something underneath to create steam. So you might as well put veggies in, okay? I'm going to use some capsicum as well to put that in. So I'll just take, this is a massive capsicum. I usually do about half to a whole, depending on whether I've got capsicum, number one. Sometimes I will completely leave capsicum out, okay? Because I just don't have it, and I'm not going to especially go shopping for it. I've generally got zucchinis and sweet potatoes. They're usually on our shopping list, so they always nearly go in. So this is our steaming part. That's what I'm putting in the bottom, okay? Have you steamed with your Thermomix with veggies underneath? I'd love to know while you're watching on, and I'm just looking around for a lid. Here we go. I need to chop it. So do comment if you steam confidently. I'd love to know. I'm going to spin it up to speed 5. Speed 5 is our chopping. I'm not putting a timer on. I'm going to leave it blank. So up to speed 5. Give it a couple of seconds. Now, it depends what texture you want, how hidden you want this. If you need to make it really fine, take it to about 10 to 15 seconds. You'll actually end up like a pulp in there. I want a little bit of texture still, okay? I have to make a comment about this recipe in a second. First of all though, Varoma on top, okay? Now, next up is our mince. Some people in the past have done this recipe and they've said to me, Lisa, it's too runny, like at the end it's coming out runny. Now, this is a really tricky one because my mince from my local farm that I buy in, an 1/8 of a share is a different type of mince to yours if you've bought it at a grocery store or the local butcher. Depending on where you buy it, depends on what quality it is, what they've put through it, and there's really no way to know. So some will have more water naturally in it than others, and it can be really hard. Now, playing with your quantity of zucchini can certainly help that. If you've got less zucchini in there, then because zucchini's got such a high water content, then it's obviously going to be a bit thicker than if you don't. Oh, that's the plastic dish. I'm like, what is that? It's a dish. It's really such an individual thing. Now, if you open yours up at the end of today and you've made this and it's too runny, what do? Okay, troubleshooting 101. Here we go. So, in a little jar, a glass, just a glass. You put in one big generous scoop of corn flour, and you go to your tap and you put in some water on top of that, about the same amount usually. Grab a fork, whip it around, and while this mix, when you've combined it all together later, is hot, you actually put your Thermomix on reverse slow stir, and you put that corn flour mix in, and it will thicken it so long as your mix is still hot. If you've walked away, you finished it 2 hours ago, it's now like 60 degrees, it's not going to be the same, okay? But you're looking for that to be piping hot and putting into it, okay? That corn flour, which then thickens. If it's over 90 degrees, corn flour will naturally thicken. Just breaking this chunk up, by the way, seeing if it's defrosted. Sometimes it has got lumps in the middle still, that's okay. I will have to just stop it a bit early to kind of scrape off the cooked bit of mince, and that's okay. Not a big deal whatsoever. You can see there, that is still frozen. But I'm just breaking it up. The beauty of making it in the Vorwerk as well is you get to choose your texture. Texture of mince is such a controversial topic at times. Some people like it really fine, they don't want to be able to see the texture. Other people like it really chunky. Some people really just don't like mince for its texture at all. Okay, such a personal thing. All right, into the Thermomix now is 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, and I have a really a confession, I'm all out of veggie stock and I haven't had a moment to make it. You guys know the last few days I have used it on various recipes, and yes, oh no, it's out. So normally I would put 1 tablespoon in of this. Okay, by the way, this, I think my mince is an 800 gram packet, okay? Just if you're wondering, I have put 1 kilos in before, they work okay too. But I think it's an 800. Okay, I just threw some away there. So I'm going to put a little extra tomato paste in. Normally I put 1 not generous size, just standard size tablespoon or dessert spoon of tomato paste and 1 of veggie stock. But as I said, no veggie stock. I'm going to have to make some. It'll be on the video soon. I don't know. Oh, I'm having a mess today. I don't really make that much of a mess, but hey, this is why I love the Thermomix. It's less mess. All right, I'm going to wash my hands up the back, and then we're going to add in tomato. Now, you have to put something on top of this meat. You'll be really sad if you try to cook it like this. It just it doesn't dry out, but it has no color. It looks gross. It doesn't go really soft. You need something on top. And the tomato paste and the veggie stock's a start, but I find it's not enough. I'm just opening a massive can of tomato, so excuse me for a second. I told you it was like a cook with me this afternoon. I'm, yeah, not particularly organised, a little bit, but not like I normally am. It's been a massive day. Exciting in Thermomix world. We're currently joining up those people who want to join the team in Australia, obviously. Some of you guys are watching on from elsewhere, and start earning a TM7. So that's super exciting. So I've been on the phone lots today, getting lots of stuff done. But in more exciting news, next week's my birthday, so I'm going to have some exciting news for you guys then. Now, I am going to weigh this because I tend to try and use my massive 2.5 kilo tin. I tend to put 800 grams on a size this big, so if you're buying normal people's tomato, you've got your small can at 400 grams, which I'd use on a 500 gram portion of mince. And then you've got your 800 gram, which is what I'd use on this 800 to a kilo portion. Now, this is going over the top. I'm going to make the biggest mess here. This is a terrible idea. Hang on a second. Let's move this around. Less mess. So, up the top there, I've got the scales up. So we're just coming up and we're spreading it over the top. If you're pouring this out of a can, you are literally just pouring it around the outside over the mince. We are going to stir this mince again. I feel like I should just do this. Oh, except the cupboard's in the way. Can you see me wearing it? It's all over me? Not quite, but just about. So, not quite enough yet. All right. I just got to be more patient with these things, don't I? You do want this though, okay? Tomato is such a key ingredient. Now, you might be also wondering what on earth you're going to do with this. Well, if you are used to making your mince with certain spice mix or sauce or paste, that's what you're going to add in either now or later. So if you've got like a favorite burrito mix, maybe a salsa that you would normally, like the, you know, the paste ones that you get with your tacos, you could add that in. I've got tomato everywhere. So at this point in time, you could put your Worcestershire sauce in if that would be what you would normally put in your mince mix, yeah? So whatever you would normally be putting, you put in here now as well. So don't feel like, oh, Lisa put nothing into it. I don't put anything into it. No, you put what you would normally put into it. So I'm just giving this a loose mix. Remember, I've got that frozen hunk in the middle there too. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting a hole in the center for the steam to get out. And now I'm going to put the lid on. And this is going to cook unaided. I'm going to have to use one of my clear lids. Okay, clear lids, just an FYI, if you're buying a Thermomix, they don't come with a clear anymore, okay? Just in case you wondered. This is an ancient lid, but it still fits because all those lids over the years have been the same size, which is cool. So it's a 2-part process. Mine will be 3 because I've got frozen in there. So I'm going to cook it for, normally I do 20 minutes. I'm going to do 15 to start off with because I want to come back, break up that frozen portion. Varoma because we're steaming, and then speed 2 because that's what we steam on. So in 15 minutes, I come back, I get my spatula and I break up my mince and that frozen portion to the texture I want. And then I'm going to put it on for another 25 minutes. Now, if I've still got a frozen portion, I'm just going to stop that so I don't talk over the top. If I've still got a frozen portion in there, I would probably put another 5-minute cook, break it up then at that 5-minute cook. But it tends to take 40 to 45 minutes to do a 1 kilo batch of mince. Okay, so 1 kilo of that mince to start off with. It ends up being a big batch, right? We've got 1 kilo mince, 800 grams, probably about another 800 grams of veggies. Now, this may or may not fit in the bowl, okay? You have a lot of food. What you may find is at the end of this cook time, when the mince is cooked and the veggies are well softened, you will put probably half of this into another bowl or into a thermo server, into something. And then you'll take half your mince mix and you'll put that into that bowl and you'll stir that together. And you've got a beautiful big, nearly 2 litres worth of savoury mince. And then you can put this in here and stir it through. And you've got 2 serves ready to go. Or sometimes that makes 3, right? Like you could be putting it with pasta, you could make it into a shepherd's pie, you could make it into a lasagna, you can go nachos, tacos, burritos. So many things you can then do with this as the base. Okay, so that's what you'll find next, especially if you've done 1 kilo, you will need to find some sort of dish to put half the batch in of both the top and the bottom parts to stir them together. We're simply not going to fit it in 2.2 litres worth. So I am excited for the TM7 Vorwerk. It goes from 3.3 to 4.8 litres. Oh my goodness. However, in the meantime, if you are thinking about getting a TM6, it is now February. If you are in Australia, I'd love to help you get one on the bench. They currently are coming with all the added extras. It's like $1,000 worth of added bonuses when you're buying a TM6 because we're waiting for a TM7, okay? So this is the end. They're not making the TM6 anymore. So if you're interested, reach out. I'd love to help you. Otherwise, if you don't want to talk to me, go to my website. You find the details there. There's the latest news on the left-hand side of the screen. And there's also a register. So if you're curious about keeping up to date with the TM7, click the register button and I'll keep you informed and up to date as I learn more as well. But otherwise, I'm going to spin the style up, get dinner going. I hope this has inspired you to learn how to use your Thermomix manually. It's not hard, it's not scary. And once you get these skills, then you can do so much with it. So otherwise, have a fantastic day. Take care, share these videos, send them to people you know who have a Thermomix so they can keep getting more out of their Thermomix. But take care and I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.